Hello friends, and welcome to a quick flip through of my new Steampunk Revival Coloring Book. As I've mentioned before, this is a celebration of 5 years of me creating colouring books, which started with steampunk houses. So I wanted to go back and revisit that steampunk vibe, but also celebrate all that I've drawn over the last 5 years. So hopefully this book is a combination of all that. I'm really excited about it. I think there's some really fun illustrations within this book. So let's stop talking and look through it. Fun cover. We've got a little rabbit who's on a journey. He's got a huge key, lots of gears, little dragons, lots of things hidden. And then we kick straight into our book belongs to page with more gears and flowers, butterflies and a little dragonfly. Which sort of gives you a taste of the vibe that's to come. So yeah, as I mentioned 5 years ago, I started this journey, and this is just to say thanks. So here we have a steam train going over a bridge. I'm really quite fond of this, using this book page. A little bit dimensional, lots of things hidden for you to find in colour if you so desire. Or you could just skip that page and head straight into the book. Well, this is Honeycomb. And here's a little steampunk bee. Lots of gears and levers and bits of stuff that look like they should be shiny brass in its wing. Bit of a hexagonal vibe going on, as is only appropriate for bees. But, you know, flowers, lots of fun things to colour. I know a lot of you guys out there love bees, so hopefully this fulfills that niche in your heart. Okay, this is Carrot Soup. So we have a little, what looks like a mobile home or a restaurant, and manned by rabbits who seem to be doubling down on their carrots. This guy's got his basket full of carrots. She's chopping them up. There's a little bird that looks like it should belong in a cuckoo clock. And of course, everywhere there's rabbits, there's little baby rabbits just spilling out underneath. And of course, air conditioning. Very important. Here we have a brisk walk. So we're doubling down on that steampunk vibe again. Here we have our heroine in a wonderful dress. She's striding through the city, and not only doing that, she's multitasking. She's catching up on her reading. She's got a fantastic hat, and she's accompanied by a steampunk dragon. He looks quite happy to be out on a walk, I must admit. He's got a little furnace in his gut, which is obviously steaming the whole thing, and the smoke's coming out his nostrils, as is appropriate for dragons. And I think this is just a fun focus on this dragon. Lots of little bits and pieces to really highlight. And here's a clockmaker. Well, we couldn't do steampunk without a clockmaker, could we? And there does seem to be a bit of a hat theme working already in this book. But this beautiful clock is entangled in all sorts of flowers and vines and leaves. There are butterflies, all sorts of things happening. And our clockmaker, who seems to have stored many of his tools and or clocks in his hat, is working on a clock and seems to have been suddenly surprised by this mechanical bird launching into song. I love the juxtaposition of these vines and gears and everything. So it's like flowers and gears meet together. So it'd be fun to work out, you know, where's the metal and where's the floral in these illustrations, or in this one at least. So that was the clockmaker. This is another one of my favourites, is the apothecary's shelf. So we have a shelf filled with fun things, including dragons. There are telephones and ink and scrolls, more dragons. These flowers look like they might bite you if you get too close. Lots of little hidden things for you to discover and colour. I think a whole lot of fun to colour that one. And here we have our little rabbit from the cover. He's on a heart quest. Here's his key, and there's a keyhole. It's obviously working out what happens. This heart looks of lots of fun, like there's big brass areas and then all the gears hidden within. Little bits of diamond. So a fun little illustration to colour. Here we have the cake shop. A steampunk cake shop. So you've got steampunk and you've got cakes. So I don't really see what else do you need? Well, of course, you need little cute birds with their mum going, I want that. And there are all of the beautiful little pastries and cakes set out. Petit fours, donuts even, cupcakes. And then we're straight into the ice cream man. I can just hear Greensleeves dinging out through the airwaves. At least that's what they play where I'm from when the ice cream truck comes around. All the kids go running out with their money to buy a soft serve ice cream. Of course, in the steampunk age, it's a long way up to the counter because, of course, steampunk's got to work it out. I think my favourite thing about this is this ice cream cone funnel. And then all these little characters trying desperately to get up. Please, sir, give me an ice cream. Here we have the art of flight. And I love that this bird, although it's got wings, has happily devised a creation, a contraption to mean it doesn't need to really put all that effort into flying. It just sits on the perch, goes where it wants. He looks quite pleased with himself, doesn't he? There's a little bit of a simpler one, but it's still a whole lot of fun because there's all these little engine bits. And of course, a very well-dressed bird. Coal-fired power plant. Very happy with the name of this illustration. As you can see, there's little gnomes, little garden gnomes are feeding the coal into our power plant. And these flowers are all mechanical and fun. So there's once again that fusion of the gears and the flowers. Well, Mr. Fogarty has made an appearance. Not just an appearance, but he's on angel's wings. How can you beat that? Mr. Fogarty with angel's wings? Well, I know how you can beat it. You can beat it by Snail also having wings. Fabulous. So there's a great little steampunk border. And then there's that little scene of a village, like a cute English village in the background, and then the sun rays. Oh, I can imagine the colours that are going to be in this one will be amazing. And of course, his wings look a little bit DIY, don't they? Looks like he's collected old fence posts to build his wings. Butterfly bots. Well, there's little butterflies, but they're not. They're little robots, little steampunk robots with gears and stuff in their wings flying through the flowers. Which I thought could be a fun little colouring exercise. And here we have Ship of Fools. You can't have a steampunk book without a blimp. And here's our blimp, filled with an elephant, a rhinoceros and a giraffe. They all seem to have been imbibing something. And there's a bottle of champagne maybe falling out the back of the boat. So I'm not sure why they're fools, but their consumption of alcohol could have something to do with it. And here we have another key hanging underneath. Lots of little bits and pieces. Now you may remember that the wizard has made a couple of appearances now in some of the previous books. Now this one's called Overtime. He's at his desk filling in some very serious looking information in that book. I'm not sure what he's writing there. It looks runic, but there's lots of cool things on his desk to play with and colour. And underneath his desk is this curled up dragon who's happily having a snooze. And here's what looks like a crystal ball, and there are little bubbles of what look like spell geometric things floating around. And once again, there's a clock behind him. So lots of fun places to pick out golds, maybe, with vines. Quite fond of that little wizard. So it's good to see him in Steampunk Revival. Well, it's just a crazy organ, isn't it? This is the maestro. And I thought if anyone's going to be able to pull off playing this organ with its multiple keyboards and buttons and feet pedals, it's going to be an octopus. And here he is contemplating his machine with his little squid friend standing in awe. And of course, if you're going to play the organ, if you're going to play such a fine organ as this, you're going to need to wear your hat. Look at that hat hanging off the edge there. This organ also seems to have a cuckoo clock built into it. It's a fantastic machine. So these pipes are going to be so much fun to colour for our little maestro. The Great Elephant Bathhouse. You may remember, if you have seen steampunk houses, that this is a nod to where we began. I used to draw these steampunk houses and put them all together. I thought I need to put at least one into this new book. So this is the Great Elephant Bathhouse, and it's pulling water up into all these little ponds, creating sudsing effects, and then there are little elephants hidden throughout. They're coming, they're waiting, they're bathing, with a little island in the background. I should have stuck the castaway in here somewhere, shouldn't I? And a couple of pelicans sitting up the top there, watching those elephants bathe. Not sure what that's all about. And here we have submariners. You may remember our mad inventor, Cat. He seems to still be inventing. He's built himself a submarine, and he's happily inside and dry. He sent his little assistant out to investigate the seabed. And seems to have discovered something there. There's a little friendly fish and a jellyfish floating around. So if you're into water, this could be a fun little background to play with. It's always fun to see a mad inventor cat out there. Well, here we have Ticketmaster. You can't have steampunk without a steam train, at least one, can you? Here's our steam train coming into the station with all of the bits and pieces of stations. And our Ticketmaster waiting for you to give you a ticket. A fun floral border around the whole thing. The floral border also has little bits of gears and train paraphernalia tucked away in it. And this is our nanny. It's a steampunk nanny, so her pram has been steampunkified. So there are questions as to the safety and efficacy of this pram, but she seems quite confident in herself, so we'll just let them go, shall we? There's a little baby poking its head out of that pram, and this dog's looking up going, I'm not sure about this, but I'm happy to be on a walk. And once again, there's a lovely scene in the background, and then this trellis of roses over the top. We've also got some lamps, so you can play with lights in this one. Lots of fun bits and pieces to play with in this. I really love the composition on this one. And this one's a little bit more manic, a little bit more steampunk, a burning ring of fire. So this is a mechanical phoenix. There's a ring of fire here being powered by this wonderful contraption with lots of fun things hidden all through it. And this is called Ahead for Heights. I think this is my favourite page in the book. We have this fantastic giraffe smoking a pipe and wearing a monocle, and he's obviously testing out his new steampunk flying penny farthing. And I guess he's got Ahead for Heights because he's already used to being way up high because his neck is so long. Just give you a quick glimpse at some of my rough sketches for this. I thought, let's create a cool flying machine and then have a very strange character flying it through the sky. An unexpected character. A big, huge giraffe. And happy little swallows flying all around him. So aquarium. Here we have a wonderful conglomeration of jars all linked together by these steam pressurized valves and tubes. And of course it's filled with octopuses and seahorses. The hermit crab looks happy. Everyone else is looking a little bit... Oh no, the octopus is happy. Maybe these guys are a bit concerned. Lots of little fun things to play with in the aquarium. And here we have Fancy Follies. I was picturing Capability Brown looking over the landscape he's created, and he's got his plans, and he's talking to obviously a rich landowner about how they could build another folly, maybe with a fun Victorian steampunk water pump facility. They're quite happy with themselves, don't they? Well, this one's got a little bit more whimsy. It's Snail Trail, a little fairy winged, a gossamer winged thing riding a snail. It's all harnessed up, which I think is fantastic. But not just riding a snail, it seems to be a souped up snail. It's been given wheels, maybe to improve its speed. But this is called Snail Trail, and they're obviously on a long journey, and they've got a caterpillar, and there's this our lady beetle. I'm sure we've seen our lady beetle in many of our books. Vines filled with little flowers, and I love the whimsy that's in this one, the story that's in the background of it. On Our Way, this is another favourite, and we have a fantastic steampunk gate. with steam. And we have our two characters. It's a young guy and a girl. She's choosing. Obviously, this gate takes you to different places, so they're off to a better world. I think that's what it is. So this steampunk urban scene, and then we're looking through into like fields of green and a fantasy castle in the background there with flowers. So we've got the wildflowers growing up the side of the gate, but on the inside we've seen lovely flowers. So really happy with this one. I think it's fantastic. Oh, second set of pages begins here. Now this book does have duplicates with a difference. I'm not going to show you the differences, but there are some considerable differences on a number of them, and lots of fun things for you that I will let you discover on your own. So some pages just a little bit changed, some pages there's a lot of changes, but you have the choice which one you're going to colour, or you could colour them both. And some of the duplicates with a difference actually continue the story. So it's like scene 1, scene 2 in some ways. So yeah, as I said, I'll let you guys discover those differences on your own. And that's it. That's Steampunk Houses. I think this is my 24th. What have we got? 5 by 4. 20 minus 1 is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 5 years. Well, I think that really does encapsulate a fun 5 years of drawing. I hope you enjoyed that flip through. I hope you love the new book. And if you do, let me know in the comments below. And maybe grab yourself a copy. I think there is the hardcover doesn't have the duplicates, just has the first 25 illustrations. The paperback has the duplicates with a difference. And there are digital versions available at rjhampson.com if you prefer to work digitally or to buy and print out on your own selected paper. Well, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoy looking through Steampunk Revival, and I will no doubt see you in another video. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.